Good evening and welcome to the City of Petaluma regular meeting of the City Council and the Petaluma Community Development Successor Agency for June 15th. We'll have roll call. City Clerk.
Garrett.
Here.
Fisher.
Here.
Healy.
Here.
Kearney.
Here.
King.
Here.
McDonald.
Here.
Miller.
Okay, thank you very much for the time. We're talking tonight about an unusual project because we came to you about 2 years ago to protect the residential zones from unnecessary wireless telecommunications facilities on small poles and light poles in the public rights of way. And we really appreciated the ordinance that we passed to protect the residential zones. Well, now we have this very strange project that has just come forward. Verizon's been talking to the planning department for over 10 or 11 months, but the public just learned about it last week. And it's a substantially big project. We are talking about the capability of over 500,000 watts of effective radiated power that's just 75 feet in the air. This will tremendously impact all of the homes in that part of Petaluma. This is Western Avenue and Baker Streets, okay? And it's going to go all the way to the hillside. Anybody on that hillside is going to be in the main beam of radiation. Everybody going up towards Howard Park, the same thing. This is a very significant event that will actually change forever the residential character of this neighborhood. This shouldn't go forward to the Planning Commission unless the application is complete. We have looked at the files all weekend long, and we can tell you huge things are missing. Number one, there hasn't been any FCC mandated NEPA review, National Environmental Policy Act. And there is no insurance. This is the big problem we have, is that the liability that the city takes on for a project this large is huge because they've gamed the liability. You're not doing business with who you think you're doing. That company does not have the assets to pay the claims. This is a real disaster in the making, and we should be very slow and take this very carefully and do this outside of COVID-19 times. Thank you very much for my time.
Thank you. Next up is Susie. So Susie, you may unmute yourself and begin speaking.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My name is Susie McGavin, and I attest and affirm that the following statements are true, accurate, and within my personal knowledge. For better ongoing planning for wireless telecommunications facilities, WTFs, we as a city could add to our wireless ordinance a semi-annual needs test paid for by the wireless industry. These tests would be industry standard signal strength drive tests completed every 6 months by a neutral third party RF engineer hired by the village and paid for by the wireless carriers who have antennas operated in Petaluma. The drive test would collect streams of data measuring signal strength in decibel milliwatts for each wireless frequency being transmitted from the antennas located in the Petaluma on a street-by-street basis. All raw data points from the data streams collected will be placed in the public record so any third party could independently evaluate the signal strength data. The cost for the drive test could be covered based on a pro rata system of the total maximum effective radiated power that could be an output from all antennas currently operating within the village. The larger the maximum possible power output from the existing antennas by each wireless carrier, the larger share of the cost could be shouldered for the semi-annual signal strength drive tests. The maximum ERP for each antenna can be easily calculated from the antenna spec sheets and the sum of the maximum input power per channel X antenna gain for each frequency the antenna can output. Telecommunications service is simply the ability to make an outdoor call for each wireless carrier independent of specific frequency. If outdoor calls can be made 90% of the time, then there's no significant gap in coverage and no need to grant an application for wireless telecommunications facilities, WTF. If there is no signal gap in coverage, then there's no need for an additional antenna to serve that target area. All of this can be added to the current Petaluma wireless ordinance. I've expressed no matter of mere concern, but solely matters of substance, fact, and law. Thank you for your time.
Awesome. Thank you very much. My name is Scott Springhorn. I live in Petaluma. I live off of Western Avenue. I attest and affirm that the following statements are true, accurate, and within my personal knowledge. Myself and others have spent a weekend reviewing the entire file of the Verizon 16 antenna macro tower antenna farm that's proposed on the roof of the Petaluma Creamery. We have determined that this application is substantially incomplete in many significant ways. in such significant ways that such an incomplete antenna farm should not be considered by the Planning Commission in just 8 days on June 23rd, 2020. Some incomplete details for radios and power generation equipment, which cannot be verified, not only the manufacturer model, number, specifications, and each piece of equipment that's being installed, we have no idea about. There's missing analysis, which cannot be verified, a power consumption analysis that lets us know how much electricity will be projected, consumption projected by day, month, and year. There's missing analysis, which cannot be verified, and analysis about the minimum level of effective radiated power that is actually needed to close an alleged significant gap in the Title II telecommunications coverage. The only lawful basis for any preemption of this local authority the wireless applicant may have under the 1996 TCA in 2020. There's also incomplete detail. We have had only some, but not all, the email and texts and all communications between Verizon and its agents and the M Group / Petaluma staff that goes back from January 1st, 2019 through June 12th, 2020. We're also missing a NEPA review, which cannot be verified. Any NEPA review, since according to Erica Rosenberg, the FCC NEPA attorney, every single wireless telecommunication facilities application must do a NEPA review. After reading the other documents that you provided to us over the weekend, we have found many more missing items, which we are compiling into a complete list that will cite documentary sources and will be forwarded to you tomorrow. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.